Hello, everybody. My name is Haberdashing, and this is the Four Awards podcast here to bring you lots of discussion about the game League of Legends. What the fuck is so funny?
What? Ew.
What?
Crazy Phil, that's cracking me up.
Oh god!
Spoiler.
The second
You
I
like
look
my
away,
sexy look?
It's
I-
quite sexy.
If you want to call it sexy, I mean, I'm all for it, but that's not technically what I got out of it.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it.
I will not. No.
I don't know. It was
The only thing you're going to be
personally,
knocking is a couple teeth out of your head if you try that in the bars.
I'm just thinking that he's being just a little too brash for me, and it was just a little too forward for me to handle.
Again, God,
Guys,
you don't have to do it. You're already on the show. You
Guys.
don't.
This is
have
who
to.
I am.
Yeah,
Guys.
little known fact,
Guys.
everyone out there. We do have a couple new hosts.
new
Josh.
five guys make a Triforce.
Yeah, 5 guys, wards, and fries.
Jeez.
All
Alright.
Piece of
Jeez,
shit.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we have Josh Crazy Phil DeHart on the
Hi,
show.
don't ever call me Josh or DeHart.
DeHart.
Call me Crazy.
He got on the show by sending $100 to Aaron. And as per our deal, Lashak has been invited onto the show for saying the word forward in every intro of the RPG cast.
It's true.
Yeah, that's the most publicly acceptable reason I'm on the show. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, I mean,
Why would you even say that part?
I mean,
That was
crap, I
part
said
of the deal!
I said the loud part quiet and the quiet part loud.
Yeah, that's just keep it all in your head. Anyway, guys, sorry we weren't here last week. A lot of moving and personal stuff that needed to be taken care of. So it
I
would've
was
just
in
been-
Cancun.
It would have just been Steve here by himself.
Serious business versus. Hey, I went to Cancun.
I mean, to be fair, I was in New York at the time.
I was really drunk on a beach in Mexico
Mhm.
on drinks in a hotel I didn't pay for.
Might have actually made for a good episode now that you mention it.
Right.
True, I did
So-
have my laptop with me. I just didn't have a good mic.
Yep. I tried doing the podcast when I wasn't here. When I was down in Florida, that was not too fun to try to do. So, yeah. Anyways,
Way too obliterated. There's no way.
I'm sure there would have been a way for you to do it. But anyways, we are back here this week. So going forward here, see, I can do it too, you ass. I'm going to let Steve, the Frostbite Steve, take it from here.
Oh wow, this is gonna get confusing. Just wanted to give a shout out to something I know I've participated in for a few weeks. The T-Force Community Rank Night. So if you haven't hopped on Discord yet,
Allium, I love you.
yes, exactly. Thallium has been organizing these community rank nights where you can sign up, rate it on our subreddit r/Tforce Network. You can fill out your information, your league, and then you can find other players to queue up with. He usually runs the event on Tuesday nights, although
Tuesday.
you can say some other days that you play if you want to just find practice partners.
Mhm.
But it's every Tuesday night. You just hop into the Looking for Group channel on Discord. I've played probably about 5 games now, and I'm like 4-1 in them. So I think it's basically freelo, is what I'm saying.
You got to game the system somehow.
What
So-
we're telling you is that if you join our community ranked nights on Tuesdays, you will be challenger. Guaranteed. The forwards.
Money back guaranteed.
Of
Yeah.
You'll
approval.
also lose weight and gain more money in your savings account.
Yeah, you'll
This-
bulk up.
Yeah.
You'll have a girlfriend finally because your mom has been wondering if you're gay or not for the past year or so. So yeah, it's a good thing.
That sounds intensely.
It is.
personal.
What? No. Nope. That did not happen at all in my life. And it definitely wasn't just my family either.
You want to talk about it?
No, I don't.
The-
That-
Tonight on
I-
the forwards.
do you want to
I,
do you want to
There-
bring it up during the podcast?
no, I haven't drunk nearly enough. I need to go at least halfway through the rest of this 2-liter bottle of
That Knob Creek bourbon.
whiskey. It's not. Why do you keep saying bourbon?
Because Knob Creek makes a really good bourbon.
Okay, well, this is whiskey though.
Okay.
Well, for our listeners at home, Haber has copious amounts of alcohol surrounding his
That's
drink.
why I said a 2-liter thing.
Liters.
Okay, everyone knows what a 2-liter is, Doom.
I don't want a large farva.
If only I
God
could
damn
buy
it.
alcohol with IP.
Right? You'd have some use for it finally.
I mean, you probably already bought Gragas, right?
Yeah, all you
True.
guys are so rich in IP. I don't wanna
It's
hear it.
fine, Doom. If you don't have a whole lot of IP, you know what you can still buy now?
What?
Tier 2 runes for 1 IP.
Hey!
I got what you were throwing down,
Oh!
Ross.
Hey,
That was actually a good segue.
I was
See?
actually trying to set you up for that.
Like, this is how it goes. We have gotten pretty good at segues and then metaing into talking about the segues, as thereby ruining
It's
the-
completely ruined.
Anyways.
The segue.
So yeah, if you haven't heard now, they got rid of tier 1s and tier 2 runes are all 1 IP each. So
That's one IP. You heard correct. Only one IP.
play 1 game and you paid for at least 2-3 whole rune pages.
You now have no excuse to not have a rune page anymore.
Yeah.
No more.
Honestly, yeah. And I mean, even if you don't want to buy like actual, tier 3 runes, you can at least have tier 2s and get along just fine. And once you hit
Mhm.
20, like there's no reason to not have, 3 or 4 rune pages.
at that point, you're just, swapping out your tier 2s for your tier 3s as you get them, but you'll have a baseline. No excuse. No
That's still
excuse.
pretty strong. So
Yeah, it's not a ton more different than the tier 3.
Considering it's only one IP, it's pretty staggering, like how
Dude,
close
this-
there is.
This will
Uh-huh.
also be great if you want to experiment with different layouts of your rune page, because you
That
could
will
just buy 9 of every fucking rune.
that's a
And
really good point, Lashot.
it's really good because there's a lot of champions that use like a very specific rune page setup to be like completely optimal. Like someone like Nasus, where you have to have the right cooldown runes and the right armor. And I don't know if people still run lifesteal on him anymore, but that
No.
used to be a thing where his rune page is really specific to just that one champion. So yeah, now for 30 IP, you can throw together a very specific rune page too.
Yeah,
So-
or like
or-
crit on Tryndamere and stuff. So-
You can now just buy an all crit damage page just for shits and giggles.
So I would say, especially this
sorry.
is important if you're like you haven't hit level 30 before, and like you've heard all these rumors about I need to save for like X runes and things like that. I shouldn't buy runes. Like once this change goes in, which I think it's already live, right? Or
Yeah, it
I
went live
believe
with
so.
610.
it'll
Yep.
be live by the time this goes out.
Oh yeah.
It's one IP, so you don't need to sweat it. Like if you can buy tier 2 runes, go ahead and buy them.
Yes. Oh,
Do it.
also kind of just backpedaling a little bit back to news. One thing we kind of forgot to talk about is remember our Trinity Force Network scavenger hunt we have going on right now. What you need to do is listen to all of our shows. You need to listen to the Forwards Podcast, Trinity Force Proper, Hearth of the Cards, the LCS Rundown, T-Force RPG, and
T-Force
the
GG.
T-Force GG. And by listening to each and picking up the clue or the thing in each that you need to grab, you can enter into this awesome contest. On our show, the main thing is we're trying out a lot of different segments right now, and I mean, with us kind of changing up the format of the show, we want your feedback anyways. But the thing that you need to do for us is name one of the segments that we've used over the last month, one of the new segments we've tried out.
Mhm.
So that's it.
Yep. And once you've done that for all 6 of the network shows, send an email into contest@trinityforcepodcast.com with proof of completion for all those. Try to send it in one email.
Yeah, no, please,
Yes.
please.
Please send
When I
me
say
one
try, I
anyway.
mean do it.
Yeah. And I
Just
mean,
do it.
honestly, I will say,
Do
if you
it.
don't already listen to all of our shows, and I mean, this is, trust me, I'm not on all of the shows. This is not just a like selling our brand or anything like that. I genuinely am a fan of all of our shows. I listen to every single one of our shows. I love them. I don't listen to this show because I hate the sound of my own voice. But
It's fine, we
Like the
do
rest
too.
of us.
Yeah.
yes.
Agree to disagree.
So I mean, listen to the shows. Give them a try if you haven't already. I think you'll really love them.
Yeah.
I know.
I am constantly blown away that this network now produces over, like 12 hours of content a week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Well,
a
and
lot.
the funny thing is so kind of just tangent off that.
Oh, we gotta keep going.
My work, I actually got them using Slack, and they're like
Oh.
designers and stuff. Yeah, and I'm doing a tutorial tomorrow on it and stuff. But like the fact that we as a network, we use an app called Slack to talk to each other, and using Slack, over 50 people from literally all over the world can come out and produce 6 shows a week and multiple videos and stuff like that.
Or if you're just part of
think
the
with some
RPG
stroke
one.
email.
Oh God.
If you're just part of the RPG one, just post dank memes.
Yes,
Oh, I mean, we used to
it's
have
still
to
pretty sweet.
It's just so full of fucking Dat Boy right now.
I've never popped in that Slack. I need to.
You should.
There's about
Anyways.
there's over 140 people in there, and
It's total chaos.
It's pretty awesome.
It's fun. It's fun.
Anyways, like Frost said, let's keep going on here. Let's keep going.
All right, I'm just gonna introduce this
sure.
here
You-
because
you
we
do
gotta
it. You do
we
it.
gotta hit the ground running.
Where are we going?
I mean, some people may think that this show doesn't have like a lot of order or point to it, but that could be a common misconception.
Damn it, LaShawn. Okay, that one was a little too forced.
That's all what it's going to be from now on. I'm sorry.
All right, this is League of
That's so we're
Misconceptions.
in a league of misconceptions.
So there's a lot of phrases that get thrown around in League that really are kind of misleading, especially if you're a lower level player and you hear these thrown around a lot. You might get some really bad advice for how to play League. So what we're going to do tonight, we're bringing back that 4-minute format we did a while back, and we're going to be talking about misconceptions and ones that we've heard in the League community, what we think sounds a little bit crazy, but we've heard it on a regular basis. Then we're going to talk about why it really doesn't make any sense and just kind of go from there. But we've only got 4 minutes at a time to talk about a misconception. Only 4 minutes, and then I'm cutting everyone off because I'm an ass.
Can I say the topic just because I want to do it?
You want to say each of the misconceptions?
That's fine,
Yes.
Doom. Just fucking say it.
Okay, hold on.
Jesus.
I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, go, and then we're going to get started here. All right? 4 minutes. 3, 2, 1, go.
Kate, stop focusing the tank.
No, my headshot passive ignores 50% of their bonus armor. And I
think
have the
half the
longest
people did
auto attack
what you
range in the
said.
game. If I'm running Hurricane, it only takes me like 2 auto attacks if there's other things in range for the projectiles to hit to get that passive back up.
Not to mention, like, it's called targets of opportunity. Like, you have to shoot what's available to shoot. If the tank is available to shoot, shoot the freaking tank. If there's a better target, yeah, shoot it. But don't put yourself in harm's way to try to shoot another thing when you could just be killing their friggin' tank. You know, you're still going to do damage to them. It's not like you're doing negative damage to them unless they're Galio and they're super fed with their W. But shoot the friggin' tank.
Yeah, sometimes the
Mhm.
tank is the only thing you can really focus on because you might need to play really safe and wait for that RA to use her charm, or wait for Pantheon to blow the flash and stun, and then you can start taking risks then.
Like, your job as a marksman, like, is to deal damage to the whole team.
Period.
Like,
Just
you're-
deal damage.
You're the attack damage carry. Like, you're not the assassin. So, like, your job is to deal as much damage. If you can shoot the tank safely, then shoot the tank.
Mhm.
hmm
Yeah.
You are a perimeter, okay? You stay as far back from the enemy as possible, and the first enemy to enter your line of sight and range, you attack until there's a better target.
Yes, you shoot all the things. You shoot all the objectives, all the towers, all the champions, all the things. Just keep shooting. If you're not shooting something at all times, you're doing it wrong. Honestly, outside of like laning phase, once you're past laning phase, you should be shooting something
well,
at
like,
all
there's
times.
a lot of stuff that goes into that. You can't just plant yourself
Yeah,
in
it's
one
not
place. Like,
just that.
Yeah,
Eh,
if you are attacking in a team fight, if it is a good spot, a good place to attack where you can stay safe, yeah, you focus whoever you can until a more opportune target comes along.
And
And
more often than not, the person that who is the opportune target, if you're standing in the back line where most marksmen are, like it usually is the tank that is the most reliable target for you to hit in a lot of team fights. Obviously, the game's very dynamic, but like to say don't focus the tank is just so simple-minded, and it's not really
well,
conveying good advice.
Well, and like people might throw out the argument, well, what if they build Thornmail or Frozen Heart? It's just gonna hurt me then. Yeah, I mean that's the idea of those items is to affect you, but at the same time you're still doing damage. And if you build properly based on watching what they build, you'll negate that by
There
having
will
like
be certain
Well, are you
situations
suggesting
if
they should
you're
have adaptive gameplay?
yes.
true, but there are sometimes if you're playing Kog'Maw against Rammus with Thornmail,
Okay, extreme
maybe
niche
not,
scenarios.
maybe not.
Yeah, that
maybe
is
not
an
attack
even then,
Rammus.
during like gameplay, like you have to be really careful because the tank could have all the kills on their team,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the tank could be the threat, and all the other carries are just worthless. So in this situation, you do actually need to focus the tank to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, with so many strong tanks right now, you can't not neutralize every threat. Period.
Oh,
And we are out of time.
All right, number 2. This champion role can't carry low elo.
All right, I
Thank
gotta
you.
cut you. I'm not
Thank
doing
you.
the timer. I can't understand what you're saying when you do that voice. To be completely honest,
that was the
Well-
perfect voice to use for that. That was just the right amount of pompous asshole.
Exactly.
Yeah, a little bit of dick in it.
Right.
All right,
A
I'll
little bit
try to
dick
make
throwing
it
in there.
more. All right, so you can hear it better. This champion / role can't carry in low elo.
all right, there we go.
Oh,
Oh,
they're on a good
I
score. on that.
say.
oh.
I do this all the time with people. Like, I mean, it goes for every role, but like so many people, especially apply this to supports, and they're convinced that if you're not like the person who's doing a ton of damage, like you're doing nothing, you're worthless. Like you can't carry unless you're playing certain champions.
Every champ can carry in every elo. Period.
I gotta play Yasuo, or I have to play the most mechanically challenging champion to show how good I am and carry the game to get it out, right?
Hi, let me show you the videos of a man named Annibot. He plays only Annie in 3 roles, and he's challenger. Kiss
Yeah.
my ass.
Not to say like there's you can't play those certain champions, but don't restrict yourself based on those misconceptions.
I think this big misconception generally comes from the support lane where people don't get a lot of kills. They get mostly assists there. Champs like Janna, where they think, oh, I can't do damage, therefore I can't do anything.
Mhm.
Not true. You can, with your utility, you can make game-changing plays.
Oh, screw Janna.
You can steal the Baron.
Janna can.
I've done that before.
Oh.
No. But I was gonna go to the exact same example, like because Janna is just so amazing at so many subtle things, like completely turning the tide of a team fight by using a good monsoon, and like something like that is not gonna give you 8 kills, but it might decide an entire game
How
when
do you
done
get 8
properly.
kills?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you can carrying doesn't mean that you're doing the most damage, that you're killing all the things or anything like that. Carrying means that you are playing in a way which leads your team to success. Period. Whether it be setting someone else up for kills, whether it be, holding down objectives and making sure that your team is taking those objectives, whatever it may be, like taking pressure off of other lanes. You can carry in so many ways. Carrying is just saying, hey, I got you, team.
Mhm.
So, any champ in any role can do that.
I think another sort of role this misconception does fit into is like assassins or high risk, high reward sort of champions, where in lower elos, it's a lot easier to find and punish mistakes, but as you go up higher, that does become harder, but it just requires an adaptation in your play style to really find more of those mistakes and really decide how you want to play your game to the fullest potential.
Yeah, really to build off of that, like certain champions may have different playstyle advantages, or I guess, based off of how you're playing them at different levels. But really, if you're in low elo, the problem isn't, you picked this champion, this is why you're in low levels. It's because there's fundamental aspects of your play that need refining, and it's not because you chose Poppy that you're still in bronze, as opposed to picking, Malzahar. Like, you just need to actually focus on getting better at the game.
Yeah, or do what I do when I used to play low level in bronze. I used to pick Sona all the time and take all the kills with Knight. That's how I carried games right there.
As a wise man once said, get good.
Yep.
Cranky. I mean, honestly, just play whatever role and whatever champ that you're most comfortable with, and you're going to carry most just by doing that. I mean, it's, stick with what works for you and go from there. It's like those YouTube videos you see all the time where it's like, oh, these are the top 5 junglers right now, and these are the top 5 blah, blah, blah.
And we are out of time for that one. We are on to our next misconception. Doom?
I have the best KDA and most kills on my team. Clearly, my teammates are holding me back.
Can you say that in a squeakier voice with a little bit of like more adolescence in there, or prepubescence?
Clearly, my team. I have the best KDA and most kills on my team.
Add a voice crack. Add a voice crack.
Clearly, my teammates are holding me back.
There we go.
Punch that voice so hard.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I mean, just because you have all the gold on you, that may also, you may have been stealing kills. You're not letting gold be distributed amongst the rest of your
Phil.
team. Maybe.
Fucking
Oh god,
Sona.
Phil is
Hey.
Phil is really bad at that.
yes.
But just because
Oh, I
you
just
have all the
accidentally
kills,
the entire team. Whoops.
and at the end of the day, this isn't Call of Duty. Your KDA does not determine how good you are.
Get wrecked, scrub.
That's so true. Like, I see so many lower level, like, LeBlanc players that are like, man, I get all these kills. Look at this. I do like 1,000,000 damage. And then, like, they get no farm and they take no towers. And, like, they never actually get picks that turn into objectives. And I'm like, I don't care if you have a good KDA. Like, you're still not going to carry games if you don't try to win the game.
I killed the enemy mid laner 12 times. He's so tilted. Yeah, well, guess what? He's not impactful at all, and he's worth no gold. You killing him over and over again isn't doing dick for your team.
Sweet. Now you're super obvious for the enemy team to focus. And if you die, what can your
Yeah.
team do?
Hey, here's a question. Did you roam? No? Huh. Maybe if you push that advantage into other lanes and help those lanes get ahead.
I like what we're saying right now, but we're getting a little judgy.
Yeah.
I think we've
that's-
been judgy this whole time, to be
I
fair.
think, all right, to be honest though, like this whole segment is kind of based on debunking these myths and this crap that
Myth-busted.
people like to say. So I mean, I'm sorry if we come off as dicks on this, but it is true though. Like play
they
the damn game and always look at what did you do wrong.
You are what you eat, Aaron.
Well, as the person who has all the kills and who's doing everything and getting all the gold, it is your job for the team to carry the game.
Oh yeah.
You made the choice to take all the kills, take all the CS. You need to carry that support. You need to carry whoever is helping you get fed. It is not their fault. It's your fault that you lost the game.
Yeah. And
It's-
even if you go like 17-3, you still died 3 times. Why did you die those 3 times? What caused that to happen? Like, what could you have
Yeah.
done differently? Like, there's always room for improvement. Like, even at like challenger levels, players make mistakes all the time. So if you really think that like you are playing a perfect game, I'm telling you you're wrong. And if you're not climbing over a large series of games, you are the consistent factor. You're the reason you're not climbing. It's not just like an anomaly because of your teammates.
Yeah, like say in that 17-3 game, you're giving an instance of what if you were 7-0 before you died for the first time? You just gave up a giant kill streak bounty to the enemy team, and they may have snowballed that into an advantage.
Are you even working with your team?
Probably not.
I mean, that's a really important factor. Yeah, like we said, you are the factor that is constant along all those games, but you're always playing with 4 other people to win that game, which is the ultimate objective. And you can do.
Yeah.
We've said it before on the podcast. You can never 1v5.
There's only one way to win the game.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Not since old AP Master Yi left us.
Or season 2 Nasus.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one way to win the game: blow up the enemy nexus, or get them to surrender because they think you're going to blow up the enemy nexus. Like,
The only number letter that matters at the end of the game is that 1 in the W column.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Well, unless you're
snap.
trying to get an S.
Oh,
I mean, all right, that's
you
only
could
a
be
little-
started on.
What? Fuck
Alright.
you, Aber.
I
God
gotta
damn
get
it.
that. I gotta
Ah,
get that mastery. Gotta
Guys,
get.
I got an S rank.
I'm level 7 on Yasuo. Fuck all you.
I deserve challenger.
All right, Doom. What's our next misconception?
Let me get my best Tyler 1 voice on for this one.
All right.
I lost the lane. Lost first blood, first drag. GG FF at 20. Run it down
That
mid.
was just your Batman voice.
Wait, kill me.
Guys, I lost lane.
And I just have to
First blood,
say-
first dragon, GG.
If you're going
like
with the
that one.
Batman voice, I'd say, take back your game, Gotham.
All right, that was pretty good.
You
that
really
was-
adopted the tilt. I was born to it. Born by it.
born in
I
the
didn't
guild.
see positive KDA till I was a man.
All right. I gotta say though,
I grew up seeing only salt.
the thing
but
about League of Legends is that throws are real, and like this game is so like fragile in the late game that like if you are able to actually come back from behind and play towards your win conditions, you can turn around games where you are massively behind.
All right,
Massively
so-
behind.
2 weeks ago.
Example, 2 weeks ago, after the episode I was on, we played a hour and 7-minute game
Oh,
where
yes.
at 34 minutes we had no towers left and they were pushing our nexus, and we pushed them off and nearly won the game for another 30 minutes until we threw because we stopped
We
paying attention.
threw at Baron because
At
we went
some-
in with the vision.
If you hang in long enough, the gold advantage ceases to matter as long as you're still farming. I had 520 CS at the end of that game.
If everyone has 6 items, it's who gets caught first, and it's over. Like,
Yeah.
it-
Well, like even throwing it back to like First Blood or First Dragon, there are statistics that show the team that does get First Blood or First Dragon first does have a higher chance of winning the game. But it's nothing hard enough to overcome. It's no more than having like a champion that has a high win rate. At the end of the day, it doesn't really mean a whole lot.
yeah, when,
Sometimes you need to expect getting first blooded. Sometimes, like if you're facing a Pantheon or maybe a Teemo with Ignite,
Yeah, if they're
and
bad.
you're playing a late game champion, you should expect to die maybe here and there. But
I don't think you should expect
If you're
to die.
if you're playing Vayne into Caitlyn,
Expect to play
Yeah.
from
Expect
behind
to have a bad day.
and like
Yeah.
find your advantages elsewhere.
like you
So-
will
Yeah.
outscale that champion in the long run, and you have to
Right.
look for opportunities to gank in for
Like,
for
yeah.
misplays.
like you're playing against a Riven top. All right, as long as I don't die, I win lane. Like that's really honestly, you know, we talk about a lot on the show is win conditions, and it all comes down to win conditions. You have to look at your win conditions. You may get first blooded. They may get first drag. You may lose the shit out of lane. You may lose your tower or whatever.
Yeah.
But
You
what
may-
are your win conditions for the game as a whole?
League of
You may-
Legends as a whole is just a giant game of rock, paper, scissors, except for, you know, the 3, you're just basically using the whole fucking sign language.
You have
There-
to
Like, no one thing beats one other thing entirely. There's always something else you can do.
keep your
Except
head in the
Spock.
game
Spock
too.
beats everything.
Right.
Because like to find what that other thing you can do is, like, you need to be patient with the game. If you've already given up and you've stopped getting vision on the map, stopped like the morale, you're not going to be able to turn it around. But like, if you are playing from massively behind and then the enemy Kog'Maw like gets cocky and face checks a bush at like the 45-minute mark, that can decide a game. Like, that's huge.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look, we just got a giant gold bounty and swung the gold lead and, are able to now team fight because their biggest threat is down.
And I'll say that game at an hour, basically at the hour mark, we're fighting over Baron, and we just totally forgot about Fiddle Ultimate and wards, and it fucked us, even though we were winning every fight at that point.
Yeah, they had a comp that fought well in closed areas, and we walked straight into it. Like, but I mean, that was them though. They looked at their win condition. What's our win condition? We force a fight on our terms.
Yeah.
All right, we've got one more to go.
Can we do it?
Yes.
I think so.
Don't play Champion A. It's not in the meta. It's bad. Play Champion B instead.
I wonder if Phil
I
has
want to say
Oh.
Gentleman
Phil has
Shoga.
opinions on this
Kinda.
one.
As-
I'll-
As a
I-
person who only plays off-meta champions,
Allowing Teemo.
tilts me so hard.
I am just gonna say I have gone into games.
To be fair,
Specifically, I have watched specifically Kargan win mid and top lane as
Nami.
Trinity Force Nami.
but I mean, to be fair, who plays Allow?
Yeah. Oh, wait.
I do.
The point of the matter,
Yeah, but
at the end of
yeah.
the day, playing your champion well is better than playing a champion that is in the meta. And the better you know your champion, the less you have to think about the micro game of playing that champion, and the more you can focus your mind on looking at the bigger picture. That's why being a one-trick pony tends to work so well, because you stop having to think about it. It's second nature. Everything else is fine.
You know
Wise-
every matchup, and you look at every matchup not in the aspect of like, how does this champ versus this champ, how should that go? You play it from the aspect that, oh, my X champ that I always play matches up like this to this champ. Why? Because I've played that matchup a billion times. So
Yeah, a wise man once said to me is that I'd rather have a person who
Good
knows
scrub.
one champion in and out than a person who can play 10 champions at a meh level. Because that person who can play it once, he knows every little thing, and he can screw your day up if you miss one little thing up.
yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, the meta really has broadened to such an extent that there is no real defined meta like there used to be in this game.
It's
Um,
lovely.
Yeah.
okay,
These last
I'm
two
sorry,
seasons
look
have
at
been...
these last few patches. Like, all right, let's look at some of the top tier champs, quote unquote, right now. Jungle Malzahar, Jungle Graves.
Fucking-
like,
ugh.
seriously?
Well, I'm just
Well,
saying, like, there's a larger variety of champions that you see, both in normal play and even in competitive play. There's a lot more that people can do with the champions that they're given.
Support Trundle.
Fuck yeah, man.
To
One of
build
my-
off of that, the thing you have to keep in mind is that just because a champion's not popular in the pro scene doesn't mean it's not effective. Like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
every single champion in this game is viable up to high level like of play. Like if you know your champion inside and out, like Lashak was talking about, you can play champions that you don't typically see and still be exceptional at them. You just need to be very well versed in how to play them properly.
And you know what's
Serious.
great when you're playing an off, quote unquote, off meta champion? Like when you go mid lane Heimerdinger and you're against someone that's only been playing for 2 years and has never mid laned against the Heimerdinger before, they don't know what the fuck's about to happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
But-
look at. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, to build up on that as well, like people who've played versus the meta champions like Azir and Zed like that, they understand the counter matchups versus maybe your one trick pony, a Teemo or a Lowy.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at,
Draven!
For
Check-
example.
check
I'm
out
just
some of the
saying.
top streamers out there. Check out, like I've said before, Antibot, or check out
Heisen Dong?
Box who plays right Riven top all the time, or even check out Trick2G who plays Udyr jungle all the time. Like, those are people who know their champs inside and out. They know exactly how to build those champs for what matchups and how they're gonna do in each matchup. So and I mean those are challenger and master level players. So
All right.
Yeah.
That's
I
all
love
the
this segment.
misconceptions we have for today.
We did it. We did it, Reddit. If you have any other misconceptions that you would like us to debunk,
Go on Reddit and throw salt at us.
yes, you can throw salt on Twitter, or you can throw salt in an email, or wherever. We welcome your salt anywhere.
Yes.
Sodium free, please.
Yeah,
So
Phil's watching his diet.
we got some listener questions here.
What?
And the first one I wanted to get away real quick. It's more like a tip than like a in-depth discussion, but I think it's worth bringing up because I think there's a lot of people who don't know this. So King Corporal writes in and he says, do normal scale at all with ranked? I am silver, but I have hundreds of ranked versus my normals. Do these scale at all, or are these separate?
Those are two separate MMRs.
Yep.
So if you don't know what that means, basically whatever your rank is, or your hidden MMR for your rank, is completely separate from your normals MMR. So you could be like a diamond level ranked player who never plays normals. Your normals MMR or your normals rating is actually probably going to be a lot lower.
And a reminder, MMR is essentially matchmaking rating, and it's going to try and find you other people that are on par with that. My ranked MMR is, well, whatever, it's where it belongs. But my normal MMR from playing with like Phil and Karkin and Plat and high level people, it gets weird.
Yeah, and
You're playing with Phil and Kargan, it's always going to be weird.
yeah.
Well, I mean, like my opponents. So then when I get in with other
It is the
people who
least
are
normal game.
Because, okay, so I'm typically playing against higher MMR people than my rank. So then when I get into normal matches with people of my rank, my MMR is higher than theirs versus other silver twos, because I'm typically playing in these other games, so it gets a little wonky. Like, why are we playing against Plats? I'm like, I'm
No.
sorry.
Now the only place where those cross at all is with your if you are doing your placements for the absolute first time ever,
Oh, yeah.
because it's going to kind of do your placements based off your normal MMR and try to match you up with people based on that. But then based on how you're doing in that, it will adjust to like the MMR average of the people you're playing against, whether you're winning or losing, and then you get placed. But after you've been placed once, they're always separate from there. So.
Yeah, and I know there's websites where you can check out your normal MMR versus your ranked and whatnot. And if you ever say to yourself, "Oh wow, my normal rank is higher than my normal is higher than my ranked one. Maybe I actually deserve to be diamond." Be
You gotta
careful when
earn
you
it.
use that. Yeah, because a lot of people aren't trying in normals versus ranked.
Do you know when you deserve to be in diamond? When you're in diamond.
Oh.
That is
So seriously, even
way
if you're good enough to be in diamond, if you're not actually putting in the time and effort and work to get it, like it's easy for me to say like, oh, I should be in gold, but I'm not putting in the ranked games to get in gold, then I don't deserve to be in gold.
true.
it's a marathon.
It
Yeah,
is. It is.
Your MMR may be like good enough to where you could play in gold and you'd hold your own, but at the end of the day, like you have to earn that ranking.
A rank
period.
is earned.
There we go.
All right. I'm going to move on to the
Sorry,
next.
that's a reference outside of
That
league.
is some deep Twitch fucking stuff.
I'm going to move on to the next question here. Oh boy, how do I pronounce this?
Hydroquarriors.
That sounds close enough.
Hydroquarriors?
I would say Hydrochorus.
Hydrochorus. That's sweet. That's nicer. I like that.
Right, like a Hydra Kid, Hydrochorus.
Hydrochorus.
Chlorophyll. More like
Hydrochorus
chlorophyll.
writes in. He says, my mechanical skills are sorely lacking in the ADC role, but I know I will improve over time. My main source of frustration comes from the supports that I lane with. Oftentimes I'll get a Lux, Vigar, or Sona, all who will not build Sightstone and will build full AP.
Yep.
I've gotten carried before, which is fine since I'm new to ADC, but what frustrates me is when our team gets behind and our support won't build any utility or defense when we're losing lane. When I play with friends, I get frustrated in one in particular that builds AP Sona in the support role, neglecting defensive items. He goes on a little bit about that. And then he says, my question is, how do I lane with a support that isn't syncing with me and learning to play with different support styles? My usual style is to be an early lane bully, and I don't know how to play when supports are playing like this.
Well, my first thought on this, as someone that has been playing a lot of ADC lately, is that there's this misconception that I feel.
Hey.
That you play to that you should be playing to your AD, like that. The support needs to follow your lead as the ADC. In my personal opinion, you need to follow what the support is doing because they're going to be the one that's backing you up or setting up your kills. If they're playing passive, if you go aggressive, well, you might get yourself fucked. Like, you have to pay attention to what the other person is doing, no matter whether it's aggressive or passive or not, because in a 2v2 lane, you're going to win based upon, for the most part, how well you guys are playing together and in sync.
Hydrochorus, I don't want to sound like a dick when I'm going to.
You do, kind of.
Yeah, I kind of do want to sound
That's your MO. That is totally your MO.
That is my MO. I hear a lot in this question about what your support is doing, but I'm not hearing anything about what you're doing. Like, what can you do better? Because, you know what? You're going to have bad teammates who may build bad or may play bad and stuff like that, but how are you adjusting your play to compensate for that?
Well, that's what he's asking for, actually.
Yeah.
That's literally his question, is how to compensate.
My tip is, when I was trying to learn how to play ADC a few seasons ago, what I would do before that we entered the game, I'd type to my support, hey, are we going to play aggressive or passive in this lane? And depending on what he said, I would play during his playstyle. Because I can't change how he plays, so I might as well play around that myself. If he's just going to do nothing in AFK, I might as well farm safely and hopefully we survive landing phase.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Like, you want to try and set up that level of communication as quickly and as efficiently as possible, so you could do what Phil just mentioned, or if you think you're going to go for like a level 2 aggressive play, like ping the enemy laner, like try and make sure that they're on the same wavelength as you. But if you just pick up this vibe either from the random supports you get placed within ranked or something, or just you have a friend that plays really passive, then you can't be off wavelength. Like, you can't be playing aggressive when he's playing passive, or else one of you is going to get caught and killed.
A common I was going to say a common thing that I have had to train myself out of and still am guilty of, it happens with a lot of people in the lower MLRs and stuff like that, and less experience, is you're constantly wondering, like, you go and you put yourself in the position and you might get yourself killed. You're like, where was my support? You need to actually pay attention to where your team is as well. You can't, you're not Rambo, you're not the star of the show, it's a team-based game. You have to be paying attention to what they are doing. You can't, after the fact, be like, where were you? And they're like, dude, I was back at base buying items.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you say you want to be more like the early lane bully that you think you are, honestly, like, a lot of these supports that you're complaining about, Lux, Vigar, Sona, Zyra, Vel'Koz, all these
great aggro supports.
Yeah, that's exactly honestly what you want if you want to play that sort of style. They're great at engaging on very specific times when an enemy's out of position, or just being a bully and poking. So it's really, I don't know if your playstyle isn't up to being as aggressive as they are, but it really, yeah, like we've said, it's really finding that sort of spot to be on the same page as your support.
And he says he's frustrated when these champions like don't build Sightstone and stuff.
Yeah.
And while that can be frustrating, that's outside of your control. Like, you can't give them a lecture and then convince them of the ways of Sightstone during the middle of a game. Like, it's just not going to work out. Like, focus on what you can do to play around the game that you're in.
Yeah. I mean, if that's happening,
and get a pink on every single back.
I mean, I'd say don't get the far side alteration. Stay with the warding totem. That way
not?
you can literally keep up all 3 normal wards and a pink ward.
Thing is, with the way that the warding totem even works right now, there's a lot of people I've seen that have at times forsworn the wow, I just totally lost my train of thought. Sightstone in that, because like later on, the warding totem is almost a sightstone, and it doesn't take up an item slot.
Yeah, that and like, you're saying too that they're not building any utility or defense. Well, honestly, AP supports aren't very good if they build a lot of defense. And as for utility, they have a lot of utility built into their kit. They scale well with damage, so that's why you actually want them to build damage. I mean, yeah, it is good for them to have more vision and stuff like that, but if they're able to be like that extra damage threat, to where if they lock you down, they're going to not only do a significant amount of damage themselves, but set you up to burn them down. That's how those lanes and how those pairings are supposed to work. So
Yeah, I play a lot. I've got a friend who's like a lower level support main, and when I play with her, like, if we fall behind early in lane, like I just focus on farming and I play like super passive. I let the minions come to me, and I just know that in team fights, that's where I'll try and shine because I understand my positioning. I have control over that. But for now, like if my support's not on the same wavelength, I'll play what's best for the team and just play defensive, and then I'll look for advantages when I get them later on.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
even if you've tried all these awesome tips and you're still not working well with your support, maybe you should try picking up a ADC that doesn't really have to rely on their support too much, like Draven, for example. He's
Quinn.
great at 1v2ing.
Oh baby,
Yeah.
oh baby, I can
Yeah.
go on about Draven.
or do like a kind of
A safer
Um,
sort of AD carry too.
Yeah,
As-
or
like
do kind of an
Ezreal.
off the cuff type one that you don't see a whole ton that people don't really know how to play against, like a Quinn, because Quinn is really effective at roaming. So even if you're losing the hell out of lane, but like you're keeping up decent in farm, you can go roam mid, get a kill, and just snowball into oblivion.
Yeah, just turn into a bird and nope the fuck out of that lane.
Or duo
Cacao.
Q. That helps.
Well, I mean, he says
No,
he
that's
does
crazy
play with
tough.
one of his friends,
Well,
and that's
then,
that's honestly you need to work. Just tell him, fuck.
Yeah.
like
I think-
communicate, come up with a lane. Like, okay, what type of bot lane do we want to run? If you guys are just Wild West, each picking a champion without communicating what your plan in bot lane is, well, I mean, yeah, communication is a lot of key there, especially when playing with friends.
All right. Caitlyn Fizz is going to be the best bot lane. Just wait for it. LCS.
Heard it
And
here first.
They will probably kill at least one person.
Actually, you know what? With Fizz's ult not being able to be cleansed anymore,
Ah, there you
because you can
go.
only cleanse the slow, you can't cleanse the actual fish. If you get hit by the fish, you're getting knocked up. Period.
It's kind of in line with all the QSS changes. Speaking of LCS, we've got one more
Ah.
question to get through tonight.
Gorgra.
Golgra.
Oh, hello, I'm Gorgra.
I have been playing League off and on for a few years now, but I recently started watching the LCS. Watching the pros play gave me a renewed vigor for the game, and I found 4 wards through the LCS rundown, and I've really
Aw.
enjoyed your show.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. I mostly play support, and I really like Nami. It was awesome to see her in the MSI finals.
Mhm.
And I have a few other range supports in my pool, but my pool is pretty small. My question is, how big of a champion pool should I have before getting into ranked? In normal dynamic, I can pretty much instant queue as support, so rarely does anyone fight me for Nami. I feel like I've progressed enough to I want to at least play ranked, but I'm hesitant. So I guess the real question is, what type of champion pool should you have before hopping into ranked?
I think we kind of covered this a little bit earlier.
Well, I think
like,
rank we
aim
we
small,
covered
miss
this.
small.
We covered this before. Really, like the dynamic queue came along, where you really could narrow down the champion pools that you have. So I don't know if it really applies as much. You could just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna be YOLO Nami all the whole time.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
does.
we have someone in our network that does that already.
Plat.
Yep.
Into Plat. He plays pretty much only Nami, and
Kargi.
if you can't get Nami, he'll play.
You'll play Nami in 3 roles as
Ka-
well.
It's Kargan. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kargan plays Nami like pretty much every time he's in ranked. And I when I first got into ranked, I was pretty much only playing one champion. Like, if it's okay to have an extremely narrow champion pool, and in a lot of cases, it's often advisable.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Or like it's great if you can play one champion and play it well, but it's also good to have like a few different styles to play to complement your AD carry if you like to play the support
It-
role.
It's good to have a backup plan.
Well, not
Yeah.
just like a backup, but like a significantly different style than Nami. And Nami is honestly one of the better ones because she's a jack of all trades in the support role. She can do a lot of poking, she can do healing, she does have crowd control. But maybe have someone more aggressive like a Leona and someone more passive like a Soraka, just so you have different play styles that you can work with.
Also,
I
Also-
would say that I think because Nami is so versatile, like Howard just mentioned, I would say like, especially because she's not like a top tier contested pick right now in ranked. Like, I think you can just go into ranked pretty much only playing Nami.
I
and
mean, at
just-
least have one backup. Like,
yeah,
Lashak
have one
said, if
backup
you
in
want to
case
do
they
that.
pick it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
normally
Because-
2 is the magic number per role.
Yeah,
Is because even this
Yeah.
goes up for everyone, not including the Nami main. That if Jan is a popular pick and she gets banned, well, you're kind of screwed unless you have another pocket pick.
yeah, I mean, try to have for each role you play have 2 picks, and even if it's the same champ, that's fine. But try to have like, you know, keep your champ pool and your role pool small, and you'll find yourself, you know, doing well overall because it's like we were saying earlier. You know the matchups every time because you've played them so often, even if they're, you know, quote unquote a bad matchup, you at least know how to play the matchup because you've played it enough to know it. And also, like the other part of your question, you say that I feel I've progressed enough to at least want to play ranked, but I'm still hesitant. I mean, you just got to dive in and do it. Like, you're probably going to do bad at first, you
Yeah.
know, because you're going to get that ranked anxiety. The ranked anxiety is real. Like, you're going to get that ranked anxiety. You're going to have some bad games. You might place, you know, bronze 5. Who cares? Just do it. Like,
Phil-
you just got to go for it.
Phil
At the-
already said the quote that I was going to use here, which is that playing ranked is really a marathon, not a sprint. And it doesn't matter where you initially get placed. Like, if you consistently keep playing, you consistently work on getting better, you'll eventually climb and see improvement.
Yeah.
Because you have to think of it this way, like your average win rate will be around 55%. And that's honestly losing half your games. So you're going to have to play roughly around 100 games just to get maybe to the silver or to the gold amount. It's going to be a long while gaining 10 LP at a time.
But if
Like-
you're winning 51% of your games, you will
You're,
climb.
you're still climbing. Yeah.
All right.
Trust me, I've
And
run
it-
fucking marathons. As long as you keep moving forward, you'll get there eventually.
And that also, my last thought is at the end of the day, the only real difference between rank and a normal is how much emphasis you're putting on caring about your victory.
Mhm.
Like, it's still the same game. You're still trying to play the same champions.
Nice.
Yeah, just make sure you don't try to be like the pro players who play about 20 champions. Like, I know a lot of people watch like Sneaky Stream or I'm a Cutie Pie, where they can play 12 champions like that, but they
Mhm.
play the game for 30 hours or maybe even like 50 a week. Us, we can only maybe like put in maybe 10 hours a week ourselves. And with that little amount of time, you have to like play 1 or 2 champions only.
And
I
also,
think- Yeah,
at,
go ahead.
at the end of the day, also, you gotta have fun. So you need to be playing a champion that you enjoy playing. Like, in my personal opinion, if you're not having fun, regardless of winning or losing, you're not gonna care as much.
Correct.
Like, if you enjoy playing Nami and you're good at playing Nami, then fucking play Nami.
Yeah, it comes
Yeah.
down to what your goals are. Like, are your goals just, play Nami, have fun, or learn new champions? Like, there you could go different routes with it. If you're trying to get to a certain rank, then like having a narrow pool and just focusing on improvement is awesome. Like don't go in like I'm gonna play these 2 roles. I'm gonna know 7 different champions that I've mastered in each of those roles, and I'll play this champion when they pick this champion. That's way too much. Like
Yep.
you just focus on Nami.
I play Wukong in 3 roles. I'll play him top, jungle, or mid, and I'm equally comfortable with him in all of them. Do I know all the matchups as well? No, but I know the champ well enough to know that, okay, he should do this way against this and this way against this, or I should play this way or, build this way, etc. But, I mean,
I'm a little
find your
worried
niche,
now.
stick with it.
I'm a little worried now that after the point that we mentioned earlier about Kargan taking like Triforce Nami into other roles, this person's gonna be like, I'll just
You
play
could.
Nami everywhere.
Well,
Could
see, here's the thing. Here's
lose
the thing. Kargan has, I don't even know how many games on Nami over the past how many seasons. He's
It's-
easily.
100. It's literally.
It's probably over 1,000 games on Nami.
Yeah.
If we're gonna be honest here, like he knows that champion in and out in every single conceivable way, and he understands the game at a higher level. So when he does that going into normals with like me and a bunch of others that are like in the silver to low gold tier, and he's plat, which is still just that much little bit better. He understands like poking in her trading in a different manner than say I do.
I will say Kargan has said multiple times that top lane Nami is bad, but because he knows that champion and the other people don't know how to deal with the Nami top, he
can
wins
wreck.
lane regardless, even though it's
Yeah.
a terrible, terrible thing to do.
Yeah,
At
we
the
got.
end, you don't have to be good. You just have to be better than your opponent.
Good
If
point.
you do play Nami top after that, we've told you it's bad. You can tweet at Kargan. Is it Kargan's his Twitter?
At the Kargan Inc., I believe it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got time for one more question here, so let's hit that up here. Hey guys, Phil, aka Sniper Round here. I wanted to ask you guys about the new Athene's Unholy Grail. I like the new change, especially for supports. Buying Chalice is great for laning phase on healing shielding supports, and the newer, cheaper recipe is also nice because it's more offensive, with 20 CDR and 60 AP as well as its new passive which heals. That is what I wanted to ask about, the new passive. I get that when you damage champions, 20% of pre-mitigation damage turns into blood charges, which when you heal or shield an ally, those blood charges add an extra heal, 100 to 250 depending on level. That's fine to make sense, but my question is how is that dispensed when it's an AoE heal, like Janna's Monsoon? Does it heal every person in for that amount extra? Also, we'll get to that other part. That's another question.
I have any. I would say actually that one's really easy to address. The second part where he's talking about Galio building Athenes, it literally says in there that the heal done on Athenes is when you're on another allied champion. So Athenes on Galio doesn't really work because it doesn't give him extra when he's just healing himself. That's all.
Yeah, the way the unique passives, so it has 2 unique passives, and this is how they read. So the first is that you gain 20% of the pre-mitigation damage dealt to champions as blood charges, up to 100 to 250 max. Healing or shielding another ally consumes charges to heal them up to the original effect amount. So that right there, says that it is for your allies, not for you.
Mhm.
And then the other unique passive is Harmony, which grants 100% base health regen per 5 seconds if your current health percentage is lower than your current mana percentage. And it grants you 100% base mana regen per 5 seconds if your current mana percentage is lower than your current health percentage.
So yeah, that part is actually just really easy and quick to answer. TLDR, Chalice Harmony doesn't help Galio in that way. So now we can move on to the more complicated question, Janna's Monsoon. I have no idea.
Well, according to and just based off the wording here, it does not say that there is a penalty for AoE spells. It says specifically that you gain 20% of the pre-mitigation damage dealt to champions as blood charges, and that healing or shielding another ally consumes the charges to heal them up to the original effect amount.
I would
Now,
guess
is
it's
it going
more.
to do that across every champ? I doubt it, but I'm gonna guess it's going to be for the first champ affected.
Yeah,
That would be my assumption as well.
that's
the-
probably the disappointing answer.
Yeah.
They
I know we
they-
all want to find the secret OP.
Yeah, they do a good job of checking for stuff like that. Because there are 2 AoE heals that I can think of, and between that and Soraka's Wish, yeah, it probably acts in the same way.
And also
Which
if
isn't
if
technically an AoE heal though. It's a
It's not an AoE, but it's still affecting
It's a-
multiple targets at the same
yeah, it's
time.
a multi-target heal. And then technically also not AoE but multi-target. If there are enough targets to bounce, Nami's heal can heal multiple
Mhm.
allies. If there's enough enemy targets and
Or it
allies
does
for to
apply
bounce
with
at one
shields
time.
too. So like Karma's mantra shield will do the same thing. It's still gonna just heal that first person.
This even works with like Braum, you know, when he does his jump to them because it applies a shield to them, gives them an armor buff, it actually would heal as well.
Would it?
Why you would build it on him, I don't know, but
Would it actually trigger that though?
when you jump to them, because it does provide an like technical shield
Okay.
by a temporary armor buff, it does work.
Has
Hmm.
that been tested?
I've seen it. I
Okay.
saw it.
But he's
I
not
just-
going to be building a things anyhow.
No.
yeah,
but
yeah.
no,
I
you're
was
not-
just curious. I was
Fucking
like,
AP Braum, man. Give
No,
him a
it's-
big
it's-
fucking hat.
It's attack speed on hit, Braum. We all know that.
Oh god. Just like he turns into full on like crabcore death metal Braum. Just like fucking headbanging for days.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting item. I think the whole point of it, the way that they did is for the more aggressive AP supports. I think it's what it's best for in my personal opinion, because it gives them, if they're getting poked out, it gives them that health sustain. And if they're poking a lot, then it gives them the mana sustain with, you know, that passive. And then also with the extra healing passive, it gives them that ability to provide an extra heal. So it adds the extra utility to them. So
Yeah, I think it's a lot of it is intended to give reward for still attempting to poke or play aggressively on otherwise like passive supports. So like,
Yeah.
you know, would normally like you might as Janna or Soraka, if you don't feel comfortable, just chill back and just throw heals and shields every once in a while. This kind of gives you an extra incentive and reward if you're also playing around and poking with them.
but also like that harmony passive, I like it too because it works both ways with the mana and the health. Like if your mana is lower, it gives you health, and if your health is lower, it gives you mana,
Right.
or vice versa. But anyways, I like that because it's not like a death trap item where it's like, hey, I've got all this mana, but I can never poke, so it's useless to me, and I just am sitting here with all this mana regen and not able to do anything because I'm getting outpoked. It's nice because if you're getting outpoked, it's going to help give you that sustain back to try to keep up. But if you are able to poke effectively, then you'll have that nice mana regen. So
I think
Yeah.
my death trap item is Rabadon's on Caitlyn.
Yeah, because her
Them
traps do
nets,
turn
though,
into
man.
fucking death, man.
Her
Yeah.
traps turn into death traps.
Jesus,
God damn.
Yordle death traps.
with that,
Yeah, I mean, like if we want to talk more about
Man,
a
oh
theme.
snap.
Oh man. You know what? No, I was gonna go on, but that's it.
Nope,
We're fucking
nope.
done. We're finding
Yeah.
new hosts. We're
Long live the podcast. The podcast.
oh
I'm
my
outta here.
god, we're done, guys.
thank
Thanks
you
for
guys
joining
for
us here
joining
this
the
week.
Two Wards podcast.
We'll be back
for
next
so
week with
much
better
time.
hosts.
I'm the pink ward.
Oh yeah. God damn it. Can we just say goodbye here? Everyone, shut up and say goodbye.
No, fuck you.
Peace. See
Bye.
ya.